Yo ninjas, I'm Kaio. So I already made few Airflare tutorials, I will leave the links in the description, but I never really explained how to do the high or vertical Airflares. So what is the difference between a normal, a regular Airflare or a high Airflare? In the normal Airflare, your body is 45 degrees from the floor, or around 45 degrees. In the vertical Airflares, your body is more kinda like a handstand, and you don't open your arms kinda like this, but your arms are more straight up. So during the vertical Airflare, your jump will not be so big. Why I never explained this Airflare so much before? Because it's not the way I learn personally the Airflare, and also it's not the way my friends learn the Airflare. Me and most of my friends directly learn the Airflare a little bit lower, and also we tried the vertical Airflare for a few times, but for me especially it's very hard to learn. Why was it hard to learn for me? My shoulders are not so flexible, and since your arms are in this position during the vertical Airflare, your shoulders should be flexible to go like behind your head. Otherwise, it will look like a handstand. So to make it look better and a little bit wider and like a proper Airflare and not just a spinning handstand, you should be flexible on your shoulder and you should be able to do like a little bit of invert or hollow back in my opinion, and also the bridge. But I think it's a very good method to learn Airflares if your shoulders are flexible or if you are very young. I especially recommend this technique to kids because they have more time to become flexible and to adapt their bodies to learn the moves, and also to flexible people. Instead, if you're not so flexible like me and you don't have like a proper hollow back, a proper invert or a proper bridge, I recommend to learn Airflares in a lower way. I have also seen some b-boys that they are pretty stiff on their shoulders, but they are still practicing this technique. But in my opinion, their Airflares look a little bit bad. Kinda like a banana or something. I know with time they can correct the form, but I think it will take even longer. It will be easier to directly learn it in the normal way for them, in their specific case. So since my vertical Airflare is not so good, today Bigger Sabri is gonna show it to you. I'm gonna leave her Instagram in the description. The basics before learning Airflares in this way are always the same. Handstand, some freezes on both sides, some air freezes and some variations of air freezes. Make sure also that you can hold the handstand for at least 30 seconds and also with different legs positions. Try with open legs, try with the frog position of your legs. Also try to hop during the handstand to get more control by using your knees, not your feet. Make sure also that you can walk during the handstand. You should be pretty comfortable during your handstand. You should be able to stay still, but also to walk. Air freezes on both sides are very important. Make sure you practice them on both sides, even your weak side. Because during the Airflare you're not gonna use only one arm, but both arms. And there are some moments during the Airflare that you are only on one arm, so you should be comfortable in these positions. Try also to spin in circle during the handstand. I'm not sure on how this move is called. I personally call it monkey, but for some people the monkey is something else, so I don't really know the name. But just to try to spinning around while doing the handstand. If you can, open your legs as much as possible and try to keep your legs a little bit low. Don't arch your back. Now there's the first difference between the regular Airflare and the high Airflare, the bridge. I really recommend knowing how to do a proper bridge for this Airflare. If you know how to do the bridge and you know how to play with it, will be way easier to jump in this way, in a small way, between one arm and the other. And it will also feel safer and not so scary. So knowing how to do the bridge will make everything smoother and safer. Of course, you also need to know how to do the power move start and also some basic power moves like the windmill, maybe some flares. You don't really need flares for this high Airflare, but if you can do flares, it means you have enough strength. Or even some swipes if you want. Also, for this particular variation of the Airflare, for this particular method, swipes and flares are not really necessary, but I think they will still help a little bit. Instead, for the regular Airflare, swipes and flares are way more useful. The only two power moves that you really need to master before practicing this Airflare are the windmill and spinning on your handstand. Now, after learning the basics, how to get the feeling of the throw. Do the normal power move start and then try to go to a bridge and then do the start again, and so on. Repeat this exercise until it feels very comfortable. try also this other exercise. You can start from your knees or from your feet. It's kinda like a cartwheel, but you should arch your back and try to get the feeling of the air flare slowly. At first, when you try it, don't jump. Do it kinda like a cartwheel. But when you get comfortable with it, try to add a little jump. If you spin clockwise during the air flare, you should start with your right arm and jump to your left arm. As you can see, the jump is not so wide. During the normal air flare, your hands are a little bit over your shoulders, so kind of like this. Instead, in this one, the hands are way more up. When you start, you can watch the floor with your head to have more control, but then with the time, try to tuck your head in, exactly like a hollowback or an invert. When you tuck your head in, it will look more scary because you cannot see the floor, but it will look more like an actual air flare. Instead, if your head is more like this, it will look more like a spinning handstand. You can do it at first, but when you get comfortable, tuck your head in. After trying the jump directly from the right arm, so right arm and then jumping, try the jump from the handstand. So start from a handstand, turn your legs, and then jump on your left arm. Starting from the handstand maybe is a little bit harder, but it will really make you understand how the movement works. Now you're ready to try it with the normal power move start. I recommend to practice slowly at first. Don't rush, don't do it too fast, because you're not gonna understand what you're doing if you throw too fast. So try to do it slowly and well controlled. Special thanks to Bigger Sabri, her Instagram in the description, and if you also want to see a low air flare tutorials, let me know. Or let me know in the comments what else you would like to see. Also, if you need help for your power moves, check out my Patreon link in the description, and if you're interested, check out my merch. Also link in the description. See you in the next video. Yo ninjas!